Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to your daily Bitcoin update. A bit of an emergency update because today we actually do have some important news coming with the speech by the chair of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell. So we'll talk about that a little bit, what that means, and we'll talk about some news that came in yesterday, which actually made the market move. And just in general, I'll tell you what I expect from Bitcoin and what you can expect from here as well. Yesterday, we obviously got a bearish breakout again. We were still bullish, but there was some news that actually caused this bearish breakout, which we'll talk about in this. It was economic news. We'll talk about that. I'll go over that, so you can spot that the next time and trade based on that. But before we do that, I do want to mention that I have my own premium trading group, which you can find via the links down in the description. In this group, I post my own trades, but you also gain access to my trading guide, for example, and access to an exclusive traders chat room. So if you actually want to become a better and more profitable trader, it might be something for you. Like I said, links will be down in the description, or just head over to cilinix.com. But for now, onto Bitcoin. So I'd like to start with the technicals, because the technicals right now, I would say, are the least complicated part of Bitcoin. Because if we start to talk about fundamentals and economic news, it's going to get a little bit more difficult. But I am convinced that you need to know about it, and I do think as well you can understand it. But the situation right now for Bitcoin is quite simple. It's just the same as it was before all of these moves. All right, so right now we're practically back in this range between 26,250 and then this bigger area between around 25,700, but the entire support level ranges a little bit above and below as well. So I guess you could say 25,800 and 25,600. That's just the range which we are in. All right, so if we're purely talking about technical analysis, right now we're in a range, we're in a consolidation. There's no clear direction, there's no clear bias for Bitcoin. So what we would need to wait for is either a bullish breakout above 26,250, after which we can get some more bullish momentum up towards those 27,000 areas again, or we are going to get a bearish breakout through 25,700, causing a further continuation down to 25,000 round and 24,700. So this is technically what we are waiting for. Now, we can get some sort of a bias on the technicals if we take a look at some other things, and those things are mainly economic. So what we're seeing right now, for example, is that the dollar strength index continued its bullish momentum, partially caused by some news that we got yesterday with the initial jobless claims and the continuing jobless claims being lower than expected. That's good for the dollar strength index, that's good for the US, that's bad for Bitcoin. All right, so that caused more bearish momentum. And in general, the dollar strength index is in a very strong uptrend, which is bearish for Bitcoin. All right, so that's why at this point of time, I do have a little bit of a bearish bias on Bitcoin, all right? Usually, and that's also what we talked about yesterday, usually you do get some sort of recovery after a crash like this. But so far, the recovery, or at least the attempt to recover a little bit, was rejected. And then the fundamentals are not great as well. See, in the end, the speech by Jerome Powell could make a lot of things better again. But at this point of time, especially with like certain stock earnings that we got in the last week, but also with the news that we got yesterday, it doesn't look great. All right, the whole situation with the interest rates and the inflation rates, but mostly the interest rates, it does seem like there's not going to be a lot of optimism around that. So that means that there's probably not going to be a lot of optimism around the speech by Jerome Powell. So that means that at this point of time, we have to be realistic and say that both of these scenarios are possible, but I'm slightly leaning towards a bearish scenario. All right, so that's my take for now. I mean, in the end, it's very, very uncertain because of the news, and we don't know what's going to be said. But given all of the factors and given what we know, I would say a bit more bearish continuation is more likely, even though personally I'm prepared for both scenarios. But that's my take on Bitcoin. So if you do have any questions, as always, let me know. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.